The habit loop. Understanding cue, craving, response, and reward. Most habits feel automatic, almost invisible, because they are running on a simple loop. You don't decide them fresh every day. Your brain follows a pattern it has learned over time. This pattern is called the habit loop, and it has four paths: cue, craving, response, and reward. Once you understand this loop, habits stop feeling mysterious and start feeling manageable. The loop always begins with a cue. The cue is a trigger that tells your brain to go into autopilot. It can be a time of the day, an emotion, a location, a person, or a preceding action. Feeling bored, hearing a notification, sitting on your bed at night, walking into the kitchen. Cues are not instructions, they are signals. They tell your brain something familiar usually happens next. The cue alone doesn't drive behavior, the craving does. Craving is the desire for a change in your internal state. You don't crave scrolling, you crave stimulation or relief from boredom. You don't crave junk food, you crave comfort or pleasure. You don't crave procrastination, you crave escape from stress or pressure. Cravings are what gives habits their emotional pull. Without craving, habits would never stick. Next comes the response. This is the actual behavior you perform. The response can be physical, mental, or emotional. Opening the app, eating the snack, avoiding the task. The response depends on two things: how motivated you are and how much friction exists. If the habit is easy and the craving is strong, the response happens almost automatically. This is why environment matters so much. The easier the response, the more likely it is to happen. The final part of the loop is the reward. The reward satisfies the craving and teaches your brain whether the habit is worth remembering or not. Relief, pleasure, distraction, comfort, achievement. Reward closes the loop. They also reinforce it. When a reward feels good, your brain stores the loop and looks for the cue again next time. This is how habits become stronger over time. The important thing to understand is that habits are not good or bad by nature. They are effective or ineffective solutions to a problem your brain is trying to solve. The brain's goal is efficiency, not happiness. If a habit works once, it gets repeated. If it works often, it becomes automatic. This is why breaking a habit without understanding the loop rarely works. If you remove the response but keep the cue and craving, your brain will look for a substitute. The urge doesn't disappear just because the behavior is blocked. Something else fills the gap. To change a habit, you don't need to erase the entire loop. You need to interrupt it strategically. The easiest part to change is the response. Keep the cue, keep the craving, change the action. If boredom triggers scrolling, replace it with reading a page or standing up and stretching. The brain still gets relief, just through a different behavior. You can also work on cues by redesigning your environment. If the cue disappears, the loop weakens. No phone on the desk means fewer scroll urges. No snack in sight means fewer mindless bites. Remove the cue and the habit loses its starting point. Rewards matter too. If the new habit doesn't feel rewarding, it won't stick. It just needs to satisfy the original craving. Calm instead of chaos. Progress instead of avoidance. Presence instead of distraction. Good habits follow the same loop: cue, craving, response, and reward. The difference is that good habits usually offer delayed rewards, while the bad habits offer instant ones. Understanding the loop helps you make good habits more obvious, easier, and satisfying so they can compete. Once you see habits as loops instead of personality flaws, change becomes practical. You stop asking what's wrong with me and start asking what's triggering this loop. That shift alone gives you control.